Hey everyone, welcome to the live econ guy. Guys, it's been some time, I know. I haven't been around. However, I've been looking at a lot of data. I have a lot of ideas for upcoming videos. Definitely coming soon. Today, guys, it's Tuesday, March 7, 2023. It's the day that Jerome Powell testified before the Senate Banking Committee. In general, a main takeaway, and I'm going to share an article from PBS NewsHour. So I did tune in and watch this. I think a main takeaway is that Powell said that he's going to continue to raise interest rates, and if economic data such as inflation data, jobs data, and GDP data continue to show strong signs, he's going to go back to more aggressive increases. So not a quarter point basis rate increases, but maybe half a percentage point increases. And the S&P 500 and the general kind of markets did reflect a slight decrease today, potentially to factor those things in. A bunch of talk about inflation in the Senate banking hearing. Republicans blaming it on Biden, Democrats blaming it on the Trump spending and things like that. I think a huge elephant in the room, guys, was that there was not too much talk about the balance sheet at all. So Powell got criticized like, hey, you're causing a lot of losses of jobs and stuff like that. I think one of the senators criticized him for that. But he pretty much responded saying we have this duty as a Fed, we have that dual mandate. This is what we're supposed to do. We're trying to get rid of those job vacancies, essentially have people fill them in. But once again, everyone, the big elephant in the room, I think, is that nobody really brought up the balance sheet. So you have the whole Senate Banking Committee and all of their staff. Nobody really talked about, hey, Powell, maybe you should consider pausing those interest rate hikes and ramp up that balance sheet roll off. But that never came up in the entire 2.5 hours or so that I've watched. So, I think it's pretty interesting, and I think the reason is that I think these senators, they know that this is a huge, it's a very sensitive topic. Overall, guys, there hasn't been too much roll off that happened so far. If we take a look at it, let's see, Fred assets. So all securities held by the Federal Reserve. So not too much. So we were at, actually this is only treasury securities. If we look at all of them, all securities held outright. If we look at all of them, it's over $7 trillion still. So when Trump was president and Powell was the chief of the Federal Reserve under him, I think they did a much faster job rolling it off a lot of this than they're doing right now. They peaked at about 8.5 trillion in assets held by the Federal Reserve, and currently they're only at, they barely rolled off 500 billion. So it's interesting that this isn't taking up a lot of the talking, and really these senators are all focused on the basis points, so interest rates. So people do face a lot of challenges with that, and increases unemployment and stuff like that. So one of the senators said, this could lead to 2 million more vacant people losing their jobs, which I think these people are gonna essentially find different jobs. So they're gonna fill in those openings. I think that's what kind of Powell was thinking. But it's really mind-boggling that this isn't talked about way more than it is. I mean, currently you have only, if we look at like the whole roll-off process, it's only at most maybe 70 billion that rolls off every month, which is not that much considering that these banks have all this money. Another thing that some of these senators brought up is capital requirements. So banks having to hold that 10% of any loans they make. So if they make a loan of $10,000 to a consumer, basically they should be holding $10,000 in cash at the Federal Reserve account. I think that's how it works. If not, let me know, guys. But yeah, very, very interesting. Tomorrow is going to be the House committee asking Powell all these questions. So he'll be testifying before them. So I'm much more excited for that because the House recently changed kind of their dynamics. If you watch the elections, the Republicans took control of the House. So it'll be very interesting to see if the balance sheet and my favorite part of it is personally mortgage-backed securities. If any of that is brought up, like, are they going to talk about it? And I think it'll be interesting because Powell is a Trump-appointed. He was appointed by Trump, essentially, and Trump is a Republican. So it'll be interesting to see how the House committee treats him, what kind of question they ask. So I'll leave some links down below for you guys so you can tune in. And I guess I will also share this article, and I'll share a link to the Senate committee hearing that I listened into today. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for tuning in. More content to come.